Alright, so now we're going to have a look at this vase exercise. So we'll go into Inventor, go File, New, Standard Millimeter IPT. I'm going to change the material up here. I'm going to change it to glass. And we're going to start a 2D sketch on the XY plane. Now because this is a revolved thing, it's a round thing, it's the same all the way around. What we can do is we can just draw the profile and then we can revolve it around the axis in the middle, and then we can thicken it up afterwards. So we'll go through the drawing and we'll just start here and we'll work our way up and around, draw the whole profile, then the rest is pretty quick and easy. So first thing we'll do is start a line at that origin point there, and the diameter is 73, so I don't really want to sit here calculating what half of 73 is and half of the rest of the mass. I'm going to type in 73 divide by 2, and it gives me an answer. And then we've got a height of 10 for the straight part. Now if you hover your mouse over the point that you just created, hold the left button, you can get an arc. So you don't have to use the arc feature up the top, you can just hold it at the end of the point and drag it out. So now we've got our arc. Let's give that a dimension while we're at it. We've got a radius of 8 on the drawing, and there we go. It's still saying 1 dimension needed. So let's have a look, see if this point can move around. So what we can do with that is we can do a vertical constraint from here to here, and that's going to fully constrain the drawing, and then it knows it's at the top of that arc. The next part we've got is a line, and overall height to the top of this line is 22. So I'm just going to chuck a line in there straight up and down, press escape, and we'll dimension it. Drag this out over here, 22. Next thing we got is a radius, and you can see in the drawing the radius goes straight up from that line we just drew. So R of 18, and then it's at 54 high, it stops there, and the point there is right on top of this bit. So let's draw an arc, and then we'll throw the dimensions in. So we'll do start, end, and just put that there for now. We know that the center point of that arc is above the line, so let's put a vertical constraint like that. And we know the radius is 18, so let's type in the radius. And the height that it stopped at was 54. So let's grab a point here, the baseline, type in 54. Next thing we've got is another little straight line going up. So let's go line, and drop it in there. I don't know the height of the line itself, but I can go dimension from the top point to the bottom, and we've got a dimension of 57. Next thing we need is there's an arc that makes the top of it. So it's got a radius of 44.5, and it's 98 from the bottom to that radius. So let's draw an arc. We'll just drop it at this end there, put another bit there, and we'll go 44.5 for the radius. We'll dimension this as half of 89, or we'll just type in 89 divided by 2. And you can see it's still not picked up on that yet. So the thing that we're missing is this point is not sure where it goes. Now we just need to put the dimension from the top to the bottom, which is 98 overall. that's the profile drawn up now, so we can just check it's fully constrained, which it is. Go finish sketch, get it in the view. Now I'm going to open up this origin and I'm going to find the axis that goes up the center, so it's the y-axis here. Right click it, turn it on. So we're going to need that on because we're going to use it to revolve. So let's grab the revolve feature, and you can see it's already picked up on that profile, it's all blue. So we just need to select an axis, which is this one. And there it's come up with a shell of a revolve. So that's got no thickness to it whatsoever, but it's there, so you can define all the points off it. So I'll just turn my y-axis off because I don't need it anymore. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to thicken. And there's two sorts of options here. You can select it by face, like this, or you can do this one, which is quilt, where they're all going to be joined together. So we'll stick it on quilt because the whole thing's getting revolved the same thickness. And the next thing we need to look at is what direction it's going. So looking at the drawing, it looks like inside outside, so you'd think that would go to the inside and that would go to the outside of the revolve. It seems to just do whatever it wants, so it's always good to flick through them to make sure you're getting the right one. So this one is the outside of the face, and we want 2mm thick. So you can see it's going to the inside of the vase, which is the only option here is the outside. So just cycle through these and check that it's going the right way, and we can go OK. And double click the mouse button to zoom out. So there's our vase. The next thing I want to do is turn off this revolution part because that's making it turn a bit orangey. Let's turn the visibility off there. Now it's nice and clear. Collapse all these things at the side. Let's save this one. Find your folder. Right click, create a folder for the vase. I'll just save that as vase. Now we can close this. It's always good to keep things only one page open if you can. Prevents things going wrong. Go File, New, Te Pukenga Drawing Template. Let's place the vase in there. So we're going to go grab that model. That was another one I had done drawn up, so I'm going to go for this one. I'm going to go an isometric view, and then you see it's flicked over to solid here, which is what we want. Display options, make sure your tangent edges is on, and show the corners of the radiuses. And usually I type in here, but we can actually drag this out by the arrow. It doesn't give you as much options though. So 1:1 looks pretty good for an isometric view, so I'll drop that in there over here, put that up here. Now we need a side profile. So I'm going to grab it and I'm going to put it in with hidden detail so we can see the thickness of it, and it's going to help us visualize what's going on with it. So we've got hidden line, so make sure that's on, and a scale of 1.5 works really well for this one. I can hit OK. There we have our hidden line view of it. Now it's just a matter of putting the dimensions in. So let's put a dimension in here for the main diameter of the space. Diameter 73. Let's put a radius in here. Let's put some dimensions along the side here. If you want, you can dimension this bit. We might want to put a center mark in here just so we can tell that the radius is central to this line here. So we can do center point, click on the radius there, and we'll do this one here while we're at it, up there. Let's dimension this radius now. Might move this one a little bit closer. So it's 54 to there. And we're going to want to dimension this part so we know what diameter this is. 34.4. Okay. Let's put a dimension from that point to here. So you see I'm dimensioning it all from the bottom. So this is one way to help make things a bit more accurate. If you dimension one bit and then another bit and then another bit, overall you could find that someone might manufacture it wrong. So you're better off having everything defined from a single face if you can. That way the tolerances apply over that whole thing. Because as you see, we've got 0.0 is plus or minus 0.5. So if you imagine you do dimensioning like this, if you did say that one and then you did this one, and then on top of that you did this one, what that means is each one of these dimensions could be out by half a mil. So by the time you come to the end one, if you don't do an overall dimension that is, by the time you come to the top, you could be quite far out. You could be half a mil, half a mil, half a mil, half a mil sort of thing. So it's much better to dimension from one face if you can. And the last dimensions we need here, we've got a diameter here, so I'm going to pick that point and that point. You can see how it hasn't come up with the diameter symbol. That's because it wasn't two flat edges like that one. So what we can do is just click in here, take your mouse to the left, put your diameter symbol in the front manually, like that, then go OK, and we'll do this radius here. Another thing that would be nice to do for this one is we'll put a center line in just to make sure that it's clear that the radius is in the center for this part here. Right click, create. So now I've got a center line all the way up the piece and all the dimensions we need to make it. From there, all we need to do is go scale, which is 1.5 to 1. Material, we'll just say it's glass. Part, vase. Your name, my name in this case. Now that drawing's all good. Just make, when you get to this stage, just double check you've got enough dimensions that you could redraw it from your own drawing. That's the best test for that. Let's go save as vase. Then we're going to go file, export to PDF, vase again. Now I'll close this, close that. Let's have a look in our folder. So in our folder we're going to have a vase PDF, an IPT, a part file, and an IDW drawing file. So that's what you need to upload to Moodle.